Welcome to the Juke Enterprises YouTube channel. It must be a Wednesday because we are here with conversations with Juke. And once again, I have someone who I consider a Fallout expert with me. That would be the one and only Cursed Paladin Artanicas.
You got it there, man. And Victorian Paladins. I hope you're all doing well.
Welcome, heroes and villains, to the Juke Enterprises YouTube channel. Take a moment, relax, stop your bickering, and just enjoy the show. Because, well, Wizards of the Coast owns Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons, and the parent company Hasbro owns a bunch of other things, probably things you've heard of, like the Transformers. Anyways, Wizards of the Coast has recently started making Universe Beyond products, which include things such as, so far we've had Lord of the Ring, Street Fighter, The Walking Dead, Doctor Who's coming out, but the reason I have you here is Fallout. Because
Good old Fallout.
you are my Fallout expert. You've played all the games, you haven't beaten all the games. That's correct, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So, what? So they're not doing a full set for Fallout. They're doing Commander decks, which is 100 card singleton. They've already announced that each deck is going to represent a different faction. Who do you think the absolute most likely faction to show up is, and why?
Well, that would be the least likely faction, huh? That would probably be Voltec itself. Because, one, it'd be a little tricky to try and introduce it properly, since it's always been mentioned in journal entries, terminals, and all the rest. There's only ever been one actual person from Vault-Tec that you meet, and that's the salesman at the beginning of Fallout 4, which you later can go ahead and talk to as a ghoul with, and what was the name of that place? Good Neighbor, I think, where Hancock is.
And on the opposite side of that, what do you think is the most likely to show up?
Well, that is a bit of a toss-up because there are four factions that I think will be the commander decks here, and the most iconic would be the Brotherhood, because no matter which game, the Brotherhood's been in there.
Who would be
Hell,
the other three?
the Enclave, the Raiders, and the NCR.
And for someone who is watching this video and hasn't played any Fallout, could you describe what those factions are?
If anyone's seen the Mad Max movies, the Raiders should be pretty explanatory. They're a bunch of degenerates who think, I'll just take what I want, screw the consequences. The world's gone to shit, I might as well have fun and rape, pillage, commit mass murder, steal whatever I like, take as many drugs, booze, whatever. Go off the deep end, full-blown psychotic. The NCR is the New Californian Republic, which is a faction that came to exist because of the actions within Fallout 1. It's a group of various settlements that form together to try and reform a semblance of a government within California. And said government actually goes ahead and tries to bring about some stability within the West. They have a pretty decent trained military in the form of their rangers and troopers and all the rest. You see them within the Fallout 1, 2, and New Vegas. Well, not so much 1. They sort of get created within 1 from your actions. But yeah, Two in New Vegas is where you interact with them a fair bit, and they're extremely iconic, especially the Ranger armor. It is so iconic, that armor, because they introduced it within 76 as a purchasable skin for, was it a freebie? I don't remember. It was throughout the Fallout first, so purchasable in any case, in my opinion. Apart from that, you have the Brotherhood of Steel, which is a military following from where a particular little squad of military dudes who, just prior to the bombs dropping, decide to abandon their post after learning what was going on at their location with the government officials they were meant to protect, conducting illegal and inhumane experiments with a mutagenic substance. So they picked up the gear, took off, took over a vault and bunkered down, and became kind of a military based regime of where you must go forth, collect all the technology, protect humanity against itself so it doesn't blow up the world again. Sort of a doctrine. And it's gone to extremes in some ways, since there's a bit of a toss up on which approach to go with. The Elder Alliance approach from Fallout 3, where he gets the technology, but he actually uses it to try and help the people out by doing patrols, to deal with raiders, and all the rest. He's takes the gentler guiding hand approach, while you have the more extreme approach like Elder Maxon, which has caused a bit of a quarrel between the NCR and the Brotherhood. The two factions have versed each other a fair bit because of that little style of approach. And then you have the Enclave, which is the remnants of the US government who try to retain control over the world, in a sense, between former government employees, business tycoons, millionaires, that sort of thing, all trying to bend what's left of the world back towards the old world system of you follow our rules or else sort of thing. Usually they have pretty high advanced technology on par with the Brotherhood Steel, if not better. Considering they have working vertibirds, which for the longest time outdid everything compared to the Brotherhood's gear, since it took them forever to go ahead and get an airship up. And they also had access to high grade power armor and energy weapons because of their stockpiles and the various bunkers with all the latest gear that was in development prior to the bombs drop.
As we've mentioned in previous Fallout videos, there are aliens in the Fallout games that do leave the tech behind, and I believe it's Fallout 3, you get to be able to control one of the motherships as your base in a DLC.
Yes, Mothership Zeta, the DLC is called. And they're known as the Zetas. Well, Zetans. They're from Zeta. Little green men, so to speak. And little white astronaut outfits, three-fingered alien blasters and the like. You see them throughout basically all the Fallouts without too much hassle. They're usually a random event encounter, except within 3 where they had it as a DLC. And not New Vegas, 76 with their seasonal event of an alien invasion.
From what you described there, if Wizards of the Coast is going to make each commander deck its own faction, the Zetans don't really fit in with any of those factions, do they?
They fit in their own one, but they don't fit into any of the others at all, no.
My best guess is that Wizards of the Coast is going to do a secret layer, which they sell between usually between 4 to 10 cards directly to customers. They're probably going to do a few factions. It sounds like that's how they would do the Zaytans. Can you think of any other minor factions that they would do that way?
There is Caesar's Legion, which was one of the major opposing powers within New Vegas, but it was the only time you ever saw that particular power, which was based off ancient Rome's culture for the most part of forgo range weapons apart from antiquity style of using spears and the like for the most part. They were pretty well feared within the game, and they were slavers and the like. You've also got House and his bunch from out of New Vegas, which would be a bit of a minor lot. You got Little Lamplight from out of Fallout 3, which is a community run by children until they turn 16 and they get booted out of the community.
Out of the four major factions that you listed, the NCR, the Raiders, and the other two, Brotherhood of Steel, and like Enclave, I think was the fourth one.
Yeah.
What out of those four factions, which 2 to 3 characters are the main players in those factions that would probably get unique cards?
Well, with the Brotherhood, it'd definitely be Elder Maxon. Whether or not it was the original one or the one from out of Fallout 4, which is his descendant from, I think he's like his great great grandchild or something. I could be off a little bit there. There's Elder Lion, as well as Star Paladin Lions there. On the Enclave, you got, let's see, was it General or was it, no, Colonel Autumn. The Zax computers, which was used by the Enclave, which was a intelligence style computer that kind of like Skynet out of the Terminator movies. It developed its own consciousness and tried to take control a little bit. Remnants of the Enclave, which might pop up in the Enclave deck, depending. But those were guys from out of New Vegas. Let's see. The Raiders. The Raiders will vary a little bit. They'll probably go with most of the ones from out of the Nuka Cola DLC from out of Fallout 4 for names. Which I can't really think of their names offhand properly. But there were 3 particular gangs of raiders out of Fallout 4 there that you got control over as the Overlord. Well, Overseer, Overlord sort of thing. And you were able to command them a bit, but they were vying for you for power for the most part. But those would probably be good ones for the Raiders. I don't really think of anyone's name up properly for the NCR either. I wish I could, but alas.
Would you be surprised if there was no cards representing vaults or Nuka Cola showing up in the Fallout Commander decks?
Wouldn't surprise me too much. There is some stuff with the Nuka Cola that they could do, but it wouldn't be overly too much because it's always just been this thing that you were able to find. You find out within 4 through its Nuka Cola DLC, that this particular dude is buying out all the other soft drink companies, trying to incorporate their flavors into his own to have as much benefit as possible from it, sort of thing. Some didn't go for it, like Vim and the like, but for the most part,
But
it,
what about the vaults? Aren't the vaults something that should be represented?
it'd be nice if they were represented, but I doubt that they'll be doing much on that front because of the fact that they don't actually have any named personnel for the most part marked down for that.
but you do have land resource cards that they could use for the vaults.
Oh, easily. Like you got vault security, you have the overseer. Depending on which vault it is, you might have that they mark down. You might have access to like the FEV, weapons, hallucinogenic drugs, and the like. Cloning tech. It does
Oh,
vary a little.
just to you know very little about Magic the Gathering, correct?
Yeah, I know the game, but that's about as far as I got with it.
So, what would Wizards of the Coast have to do to convince you to buy the Fallout Commander decks and start playing Magic the Gathering?
Uh, that is a good one. It'd probably depend on how they display the product a little bit. Also, would depend on after it's released on anyone doing reviews on it, how the product would look. Maybe show the product in a tournament sort of situation. See how it works out.
And as you're aware, my final question is always the same. Anyone or anything you would like to shout out at this time?
Well, I do have a friend of mine who's on Twitch. He's only just started up. Uh, he goes by the Twitch name of Ability to Game. If you can go give him a follow, say hi, sort of thing, to help him get established, that'd be sweet. Of course, there's you there for Duke. It's always great seeing you get any followers on top of your already sizable amount. Uh, since after all, your stuff's always pretty cool to watch without too much hassle. And yeah, there's Mother Chaos. She's a pretty neat little Twitch streamer. And I can't really think of anyone offhand apart from myself over on YouTube there with Artanicas. But hell, it's all cool.
Thank you for joining me for this experimental video. We'll see how it goes, talking about a product that you know the lore of, but you don't know the mechanics of the game that it's tied to.
True, but you never know. I might have guessed right on what they'll have. Time will tell.
I know unboxing videos don't do well on my channel. Plus, I don't really have enough mail to really do a whole unboxing video, so I'm bad at putting this at the end of this video. So welcome to the bonus section of the video, where I got this package in the mail. And I don't have... Okay. See if I can open this without a knife. I don't have a knife near me. Oh, yes, I can. Okay, okay. See? Well, what we got. Okay. Oh! Ah, I know what this is now. Okay. Exactly what this is now. I will be going over... I will be... Please tell me I got rules as well. Just... Rules. Good. I will go over the cards that came in this. Okay, so this is going to my brother, but yeah, it's something I kicked on Kickstarter. No, I did not 100% sure what it is, but this here is Entrenched, a World War One deck building game by Daedalus Creations with 111 backers. Not a lot of backers, but it didn't really raise that much money either. But yeah, that's what this is. I was not. Wasn't expecting this till late in the year, but I got it now, and now you know what I got in the mail. So yeah, in the video, at the end of the video, do all that stuff, like comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. Again, like again. No, I don't like again because I don't like. Comment again, and